Hello everybody, it's Root Beer, and I'm here with the episode 6 review of Executioner. In this week's episode, we've got a whole bunch of wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff. We open on a conversation between Orwell and Menno, where it's revealed that Orwell was the one responsible for destroying her hometown, and honestly, it's such a small reveal in the grand scheme of things that happened this episode that I'm pretty sure most people didn't even register it. The real reveal of this episode is that, contrary to Menno's theory, Akari does in fact keep all of her memories of the previous timelines. And so, being left alone in a dangerous situation, Akari's powers activate and restore her memories, and we get our first glimpse of her true self. Fundamentally, it's not too different. Like, she's still a bit of an airhead. The first thing she does is gush over the gift that Menno gave her. But she's also a lot quicker to just use her powers to escape danger. Once she's done admiring her gift, she just boops all the priestesses that were threatening her. She also tries to stop the droplet, although that doesn't actually work. We also get some insights into her current level of knowledge and her motivations. She mentions not wanting to be killed by anyone other than Menno, which means she's aware that Menno is trying to kill her and that has not turned her off the relationship in any way. She also says that it's not necessary to turn back time at this point, which means she's familiar with the current situation and doesn't think it's dangerous enough to really intervene further. Her last act before reverting her memories is to destroy Momo's ribbons to send her on a rampage, and while it is a practical move to turn the tides of the situation, it is also just hilariously petty. Like, you just know that deep down Akari is doing this just to spite Momo. And the sequence of Momo freaking out is actually pretty good. Compared to a lot of the animation in the rest of the show, there's actually a bit of spark to that sequence. You can actually feel the anger that Momo has in that moment. Unfortunately, the rest of the action is like pretty stiff and basic. There's a lot of people just standing around attacking at each other and not really having a fight, you know? It's not a huge deal right now because ultimately Orwell is just a starter villain, although Volume 2 is going to be a lot bigger in terms of like action and plot, so I'm kind of worried how things are gonna go down the line with the second half of the show. With her own predicament taken care of, Akari immediately runs down towards Menno because, in her words, the safest place for her is by Menno's side. The sequence itself is also pretty amusing. We have this super serious standoff between Orwell and Menno, and then Akari just runs in and gloms onto Menno, and we do get some very high-quality anime faces out of it. I'm going to be keeping those screenshots for posterity. This also happens right as Menno is about to compliment Momo, so Akari keeps finding new ways to cockblock her even when she's not trying to. And so, with our main duo reunited, we lead into the final confrontation with Orwell. Plan A of using brute force fails when the cathedral shields Orwell from the killing blow, and so, with no options left, Menno is forced to go deeper into Akari's power to try and use her pure concept instead. This leads us into a strong sequence when Menno gets swallowed up by Akari's concept. We watch as Menno trudges through an empty field. She begins to reflect on her choices in life and the path she's taken as her path grows more and more bloody as she walks on. She laments that she couldn't become a true villain like she wanted to be as she watches Flare trudge deeper and deeper into a pool of blood before drowning into it herself. She sees the classrooms from her dream filled with all of the people that she's killed in her life and wonders if she had died right then and there, if she could find a better place. But then Akari takes her hands and assures her that no matter what Menno decides to do in life, they'll always be friends. And with that, Menno finds the strength to keep going and defeats Orwell. The two have a brief conversation before Orwell fades away, where Menno questions why Orwell didn't use her scripture. And Orwell replies that she figured if she threw away everything she knew that she could maybe forge her own way in life, and asks if Menno has found her own answer since they live such opposite lives from each other. Menno replies that she doesn't and fades back into the shadows, setting up the theme that Menno's going to have to learn to question her own mindset and find her own way of life. Wow, it's like the title of the series or something. With Orwell defeated, our heroes resolve to continue their journey to try and kill Akari. Our episode ends with a dream sequence from Akari, where it's revealed that, in the future, Menno ultimately fails in her task and is executed by Flare, setting up for a dramatic future conflict. So, obviously, this episode is a game changer. The reveal of Akari's memories and the events of previous timelines adds a whole lot of possibility to the story. The true Akari can be a very powerful ally with her knowledge of future events and more refined control over her time abilities. However, at the same time, we also know that she's not invincible. There are some things her powers just don't work on, like the droplet in the cathedral. But also the fact that she's had to repeat things over and over again shows that no matter how powerful her ability might be, there is something blocking her that she can't get past. And of course, there is the trope of changing the past changes the future, so there's also the possibility that Akari's action may send things spiraling out of her control. But for now, that's going to be it for this episode. Next week, the story will be moving into Volume 2 of the novels with the port city of Libelle. We also should be getting introduced to my favorite character, so I hope y'all are ready for this to become the Manon Libelle Simp channel. Thank you for watching, everybody. As always, please do all of the things that make the algorithm happy, and as usual, if you like the art, the link to the background image will be in the description. Thank you again for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.